Good afternoon. Welcome all to our Small Business Town Hall. I'm glad to be joining you today. Today, I'm joining you actually from the road. I'm actually in downtown Providence because our Tina from Ramp, is going to be unveiling the Tina's table. And also, I want to say happy birthday to Tina. She's turning 50 today, 50 and fabulous Tina, as we know her. So today we're going to be hearing from the directors as we always do, but also we're going to have a special guest today, which is going to be Shanavi Shai. Shanavi is the executive director of the Center for Southeast Asia. And because May is the month in which we honor and celebrate the Asian American and Pacific Islanders' contribution to our state and to our country, Shanavi is going to help us highlight some business owners that community here in the state of Rhode Island. So we're going to be having a lot of good information as always. We're going to hear from the directors, but I'm so fortunate now to pass the meeting over to Shanavi Shai. Hi, Shanavi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Lieutenant. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there with you. I wish I was be with Tina and you. It would be so fun. But thank you so much for your contribution and your leadership to our state because you are extraordinary as a role model for all minority and not only just minority but minority women. You uplift, you empower, you encourage and support us to be strong, to be bold, to be courageous. So we cannot, in the 50 states that I have traveled, I have seen you to be the most courageous person. And I
Thank
am
you.
so glad that you called Rhode Island home. But thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much. It's a
Yes.
pleasure working with you and counting on your support and guidance. So it's a pleasure working with you. And thank you for hosting today and for being here with us. So with that, it's your show.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity to highlight this month, which is May, is the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This is to celebrate the contribution, the many contribution of AAPI community contribute to the fabric of the history and to the economy of the state. So I wanted to share with you what the center has been since 1987. We've been birthed to better serve the refugee from the war in Vietnam. After the fall of the Vietnam War, those individual countries that was affected by it was Cambodia, Laos, Hmong, in Vietnam, of course. And these folks were in troubled times, and many country has opened their door and welcomed us to to their place of home. And we travel here without knowing the destination of where we're going to be and where we're going to land and how what is the language we're going to speak, what is the food we're going to eat, and what is the culture we're going to embrace. So it was an unknown chartered territory. And of course, we we end up, for people like me, we end up in Rhode Island. And Rhode Island is one of the 15 states in the nation in the history, if you don't know your history, that have welcomed many immigrant and refugee all over the world. But during the refugee resettlement for Southeast Asia, um, we are the third largest in the nation to welcome folks from those four countries that I just made mention earlier. And so I fell in love with Rhode Island. I came here just like many people that we service throughout our states. I came here just with my mom and my aunt. I lost my sisters, my two sisters, my brother. I'm the second oldest of five children, and I'm the only one left. We lost our dad, we lost our uncle. So I walked the footsteps of many, many people that I service at the center and all the businesses that we support throughout the state as well. I know the struggle. I know my children are trying to open and run their own businesses. So I know how hard it is. So we try to create an organization to serve the people the way we understand our community need to be served. Because our own challenges, our own language challenges, our own culture challenges, of the many, many challenges that we face, we understand how our community want to be touched, to be served efficiently. So we built a system where we can provide that unique services and to best serve them directly. So by working in policy model, working with legislators, lawmakers to ensure that if there's opportunity comes, that our community is at a place where they can be ready to access those opportunity just like everybody else. So for example, when the pandemic hit and when the personal paycheck protection came out, it was sad for me to see that our community did not get the opportunity to get access to that. And why I make mention of that is because for banker, it was easier to process a multi-million dollar loan than a couple $1,000 loan to small businesses, because you would have to do a great deal of application in order for it to be more efficient for your system. So for us as a center, we make sure that we help our community get their business in order, whether certifying SAM, whether it's their TIN number. We want to make sure that the business that we are helping is able to put themselves in a place where they stabilize, so when the opportunity come, they can get it right away. So the centers try really hard to making sure not only serve individual community members, but business sectors. Because in our API community, business is the backbone of our community. It is a uniqueness of our community. For example, restaurant. So let me bring back you. When I escaped the war in Cambodia, as a young teenage girl, I remember escaping from the province of Battambang, which is far away from the borderline of the safety in Thailand, hundreds of miles that we have to escape. I could see the track that I was coming to Thailand. There was an ongoing back home with men and women in their back holding heavy load of goods that they have acquired from Thai community and to bring it back home to sell. I couldn't believe when I came, it was just, we just left, the war just is not even over yet. There's stalls of goods, from candy stalls to meat stall to restaurant stall. It was just extraordinary how I was so honored to see that the people just so resilient step up and open these stalls. And as I came here to America, the same thing. Even though we didn't know the culture, the language, accessing our food was a challenge, right? But yet restaurants started opening up and markets starting opening up. And these goods started coming in. I remember Logan was, which is this sweet fruit that you have to peel it, but it was in packaged dry. So everybody was, when it was first came, everybody was like, that is the fruit of choice. So everybody bought it. And every time that package came, I can see the consumer, the buyers, was waiting for it to get their hands on it. But that is, for me, an example of our community, the contribution that they made in order to better life of their community members. I remember a marketplace back then. It's called Amcas Market on Potters Avenue, and I live on Potters Avenue. Open up, and it started selling our Southeast Asian product, and everybody was pouring into it on weekends. You can see cars, you can see everything in it. Traffic was galore because it was the food that we know. It was the food, it was the dessert that was prepared by talented individual who brought their talent, and they made those at home and they put it in the market, even though it's not against Department of Health standard. It was an amazing, because every time they put those goods in, it was all gone, because again, it reflected the goods that they are looking for. It that cultural food, that ethnic food that they are looking for, that is now synonymous to today. So we want to honor two businesses that are extraordinary, that has been here, and also one that has been here for many, many years, and one is newly established by a young, beautiful lady who's working really hard to making sure that the food that she serves come from her heart, and dedicated to her craft, dedicated to her culture. It has so much meaning, and we want to make sure we highlight that. So one of the business that we want to highlight is Bayou Market. Bayou Market was born, before that was called Amcas Market, and it was exchange hand many years ago, of these two brother and sister. They acquired the business. They just got here to America through marriage, and they took over Amcas Market. They changed the name to Bayou Market. And throughout the pandemic, there were some issues because of Asian hate. They did shut down for a little while because of that. No one got hurt, but they were here to serve the community. They're located on Potters Avenue, like I said, and it was easy accessible for the community. It's a walking distance for those that live nearby, and it's a local close by to neighboring state like Connecticut and Massachusetts. For Rhode Islander, everybody will swarm to that market. During this pandemic, they have helped me in the center by delivering hundreds and thousands of bags of rice, oyster sauce, soy sauce, fruits and vegetables to our community in northern Woonsocket at Wat Lao, as well as in Providence, that we just delivered the food on April 12th. So we want to make sure that we deliver that. But I just got reminded that the director need to step in, so I will give the remark later on. Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good morning, Shivani. It's still
Good morning, director. Is it still morning, sir? It's
Yes,
afternoon.
No, it's morning. Thank you very much for having me today. And a couple of things. One, I'm a second generation here in the U.S. My grandparents on my mother's side came from Portugal to here. My mother was first generation, and I'm second generation. And on my father's side, my father was part Passamaquoddy Indian. So I have on both sides definitely ties to the past and ties to other places. And I wanted to, we're talking about Asian AAPI month, and that's always very close to me. And the reason is I served as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Territorial and International Affairs. Yes, I at Department of the Interior. I understand that that's a very long title, but for those who really know what territorial and international affairs did, I was the exterior of the interior for 5 years. And that is, we were responsible for the trust territory of the Pacific Islands, which was the only strategic trusteeship that was established by the United Nations. So my travels, I was based in Washington, and I got halfway when I got to Honolulu, and we did a lot of business with the communities in Honolulu. But when you look at the AAPI area, and I'm not only Native Hawaiians, but also Guam, Saipan, Truk, Palau, in the Micronesia, the Federated States of Micronesia, Yap, Ponape, and also the Republic of the Marshall Islands. All of my travels, Shivani, was all through the islands, but also we had such a community, a relationship with Southeast Asia, which included Singapore, in other parts of Indonesia and the Philippines, and I got in American Samoa as we went south to Tonga and to other places. So I got as a young person, I was in my 30s at the time, really had the opportunity to bond with the Asian Pacific Island people, and it really was, you cannot describe it, the commitment not only to their community, but the business people. They are very wise and very humble business people. And we want to make sure that we're celebrating the AAPI throughout the entire month of May. I know the SBA has done that. We want to, as I mentioned to you earlier, we certainly want to also reach out to you, and we want to do some more training with your organization so that what we're doing reaches into the community as a whole. Having said that, I was going to talk with the Lieutenant Governor today about a couple of things. One, our Assistant Administrator for International Affairs is coming to Rhode Island from Washington. He's appointed by the President. And our concentration is going to be, how do we finance international trade with third countries? And two, what do we have to do in order for people to understand what that finance looks like? And everybody says, well, I don't have any international trade. I don't know what to do. And they say, I make a pen. You do, but if this pen eventually, it may not be the pen you make, but it may be the ink inside. The ink inside ends up going to a third country. That means that you are actually doing international trade, even though you're not making the pen itself. And I think it's important for us to learn that. So on June the 21st, we are going to have a program in cooperation with the Rhode Island Society of CPAs, talking about international trade. In addition to that, we're going to talk about, everybody is talking about supply chain and where the supply chain comes from and where it goes to. And we're very fortunate that Senator Reid is going to address some of the issues of supply chain, not from a political standpoint, but from an economic standpoint. And that's really important because both supply chains from third countries coming to the U.S., as well as our supply chains going to third countries, is really critical. So that's going to be on June the 21st. And the other, there are so many things that are going on, Shivani, that we want to make sure that our public, all the business people in Rhode Island, have an opportunity to participate. So that's one thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is we are doing, in addition to that, we're highlighting it for Juneteenth. Next month, we're going to be highlighting a number of Black-owned businesses, both here in Providence and actually up north in Woonsocket and also on Block Island. Our regional administrator and I are going to be visiting them, and we certainly want to extend ourselves to June is Pride Month. And we want to make sure that we're extending ourselves to the LGBTQI community. And we will be visiting some businesses as well and highlighting the contributions that everybody makes across the state to making sure that we continue to make progress. Having said that, Shivani, we've had a lot of discussions with people about, thank you very much, Ben, for putting the Rhode Island DO. So if people want to email us, and we do know the fact that the EIDL program, the money has run out, the EIDL money has run out, but we're continuing to advise people. We have great people at the Small Business Development Center, which I know you work with, as well as SCORE and the Women's Center. And it's really important if you need additional money, there are microloan programs. There are lenders that we know will do loans into the community. Just contact us and we'll make sure that we get you, in the right church, in the right pew, because not everybody does that. And I think the point that you made about in many instances, it was easier for people to do bigger loans. But I have to tell you, we actually did pretty well on the Paycheck Protection Program. The average loan size for Paycheck Protection was $137,000 in Rhode Island. And we were probably in the area where we had smaller loans here. We had 17,000 in the first run. We had about 18,000 in the second PPP. And I think we concentrated on telling the banks, you got to make those loans to smaller businesses, and they did. So I'm really happy about that. But I will get you the statistics, Shivani, so that you can have them.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I appreciate all the work you've done.
Thank you. We look forward to working closely with you.
Thank you. And Ben, do we have Director Weldon to join us? Hi, Director. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. We only see each other on these kind of scene. I think we got to get together soon in person.
I was just at an in-person meeting down at URI. It was a great meeting, but that's why I was a little late today. I prefer to do them in person when we can, and I'm very happy that we're able to do that. And absolutely, you and I need to do that. Things at DLT are good. We're busy. The economy is buzzing. We're trying to get people connected with good opportunities. And today I just wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about youth employment, because last time the Lieutenant Governor gave me homework to do and I did it. So, it's a new trend for me. I didn't always do it in high school, Shani, but I'm doing it now. So we have a few different ways that we help serve youth and help get youth connected to good work. And one thing I'll just lead off with is everyone should know that there are different rules for youth workers than there are for adults, those 18 and over. All the information about that can be found on DLT's website at dlt.ri.gov. There's a tab for regulation and safety, and then you can find information about youth employment. Basically, 14 and 15-year-olds need a permit to be able to work. Those permits are issued through their school departments. 16 and 17-year-olds can work without a permit, but have limited hours during the school year based on the school calendar. And there are certain occupations they can't do. Most of that's driven by the federal government, but the state then mirrors some of those requirements, and that can all be found online. Other than that, we have a couple of different things that we do to help youth. One is the Premier Prepare Rhode Island program, which is a program that I work very closely with RIDE, the Department of Education, and with the Office of Post-Secondary Education to make sure that we are getting career exploration activities into curriculum in schools, starting at a young age and going right through high school. So we are preparing youth for their work life once they're ready to decide upon a career track. We're giving them job exposure and providing different opportunities. And maybe the capstone, if you will, of the Prepare Rhode Island program is the summer internship program, which is competitive, and it helps kids get real work experience by giving them jobs for the summer. It pays them $13 an hour to do 280 hours of work. They work basically either full or part-time during the summer with different employers throughout the state. It had been virtual for the last couple of summers because of the pandemic, but it's returning to in-person, which is great. This year's group has already been selected. So we're talking about next year because they're going to begin now in a month. And so they're already working to get with their employers and to get ready. But it's a great opportunity for youth to get exposed to a work life and to go, do some real work over the summer and to spend time in a productive way in a team setting and to do, compete in challenges. It really does give kids an opportunity to figure out what they may want to do next. Mm-hmm. And, for my son, when he did it years ago, it was an opportunity to learn what he wanted to do in college. And that's exactly what happened is he did that program and he became an engineering student in college because of that. So that's great. That program will continue every year. I hope it can grow. It's based on available funding. And we also have an internship program for students of color and for students from different immigrant communities to try to give them an opportunity to get engaged in the workplace learning as well. We focus some resources there. As we've discussed, that's one of our goals here at DLT is to do all we can to bring equity to what we're doing at DLT. And so that's one way to do it, is to make some intentional investments. Another thing that we're doing in the youth space is through the youth careers, youth centers that we have throughout the state. They are community-led, community-based. They are not run by DLT. They're funded through different funding streams. A competitive bid goes out. In fact, we'll have a new one this fall, and it's called the Real Skills for Youth program. There are 17 centers that are funded at about $1.4 million for this fiscal year. And from July to December, they'll be engaged in a number of activities. And these are places like AS 220, Connecting for Children and Families, East Bay Community Action, Inspiring Minds, Newport Community School, Providence Public Library, across the state, Woonsocket to Newport to Westerly, everywhere in between. Love to do more, and if we have the available resources, we will. But those are a center that can help kids, as they're in school and getting out of school, and youth up to, I think it's 24 years old in the WIOA space, get focused on career exploration, career readiness, skills training, and get them connected to real good opportunities. And so that's called our Real Skills for Youth program. It's part of our Real Jobs initiative, and it's focused on youth activities. Those are some of the things that we do to help youth get engaged in the workforce. Right now is a great time for kids that are thinking about summer jobs, for college students that are thinking about work experiences, or for kids that are thinking about what they're going to do next. We have a strong economy, hiring is going well, and they're looking to hire more. So it's a great opportunity to get engaged in the labor market. Finally, just because this is being recorded and I don't want the Lieutenant Governor to think I didn't do my homework, 53 companies on Workshare now. That's up a few from last week, although 2 weeks ago. It's up a little bit. That's great. That means that companies know that they need the help right now, and they're engaging with this great federal program to make sure that they can keep their talented staff and they don't lose them to another opportunity. Ben put up the information. If you check out the Workshare page, you can find everything you need to know about Workshare, and give us a call. We'll help you out.
Thank you, Director. This is amazing. And Director, I have a question for you. In terms of the Real Skill job for youth, there's an opportunity that you will open up for company and organization that want to serve these individual youth? Will they have an opportunity to submit proposal, or do you have those individual identified already?
So right now we have 17 partners for this year, but we're going to open up a solicitation in the fall. Okay. And the information will be on DLT's website, or at the GWB's website, which is just www.gwb.ri.gov. And it will talk about opening up opportunities for next year. Right. And so that'll go up in the fall. And I'll be reminding this group as I come forward when things go live, when they can apply and when they can seek funding. And any of our Reels Up partners can always engage with us and ask for the opportunity to help people as well. So there are many ways that we can get engaged. I encourage anybody to follow through, go to the website, find the contact info, and reach out, and we'll try to help out.
I would love to see like big corporations and especially like, tech firms and also CPA firms that open up not just manufacturing, but not just, companies that willing to take on these youth, to see them, because experience coming from me, not knowing this culture, not knowing this landscapes, was great to know there's so many jobs out there. So if there's company and organization that open that up for those youth to take opportunity to say, I'm not just going to be, if I can't be a physician and lawyer, then I don't know where to be. This is an opportunity where they could be.
Absolutely. And we have some great employers in Rhode Island, big and small, in many different industries. And sometimes it's just about getting that exposure to know that that might be something you want to do. And it can put you on a real trajectory or path to, make good family supporting wages at a local employer.
Exactly. Thank you, Director. And it was so amazing. Let's get together. And I know we kept saying that, but yes, we do need to get together. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. I mean, it's amazing. As you can see, we have two directors that are extraordinary in terms of their contribution to our country and our state, and sharing with the opportunity that we could potentially share with our community members about all the efforts and the program and services that these places offer. I think the next one is Chris Parisi from Bryan Small Business Coalition. Hi, Chris, how are you?
Hey, Shanavi, long time no see.
Oh my God, long time.
I know, I've had a child since we last met, so it's been quite a journey.
Really that long?
It's been that long. I mean, he's
Oh,
only
geez.
8 weeks old, but it's been a little while. It's great to see you. Thank you for hosting. You're doing such a great job today.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for being there. And I know that you on the governor's side and you want to make sure Rhode Island are healthy and back to work and producing the goods, and you know, getting all the bad stuff out, and let's get our economy back in shape, and let's start selling those goods.
Exactly. Let's continue to move forward, and
Exactly.
that's what we're doing at the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition. Is we were created because of the pandemic about a little over 2 years ago now, and there was a need. And now the needs have evolved for our small business owners. But one thing that's been positive is small business owners are much more engaged into the democratic process, into their own business communities than they have been ever before. So we're taking that momentum. We're organizing as a coalition. We actually have our first full board meeting this afternoon or this evening. And we have a diverse board that has from different industries, different backgrounds, so that we can get all these viewpoints together and develop what's the best way to make Rhode Island a more small business friendly state.
That's amazing, because you know what? We need that. We need that chartered for people, and we need that vision in order to, you know, certain things you want to build, you need to have that vision. And then having you leading that pack is extraordinary. And especially coming out, I think, with the high economy. I mean, look at the housing market, and the stock market is coming.
Right, exactly. And it's not going to be smooth sailing right away. So small businesses are going to need support. You know, that's what we're here for, is to advocate on their behalf, but also provide that assistance and connect them with great organizations that they're simply not aware of. You know, we'll let them know about the Center for Southeast Asians, the Rhode Island Small Business Development Center, RI Score. There's all these great organizations out there. And what we are is that hub for all small businesses of all sizes, of all industries. They know that they can come to the coalition to be advocated for, but also help them point in the right direction, so that we can have this ecosystem of all these great business support organizations. And there are actually people in our government that care. Director Weldon, Director Hayward, they're in Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. They're 3 examples of folks that really do care about our people and our small business owners. So that's what our purpose is. And we're really excited to take that next step. And make sure to learn more, join by going to the rismallbusiness.org. And we're actually going to be launching a membership portal soon, so that we can help connect the members with each other, in addition to the members with these other great business support organizations.
And Chris, do these businesses have to pay to join, to be a member?
Right now, you do not have to pay. We've done all of this volunteer based, but now what we're going to do is launch a membership program. It's optional, so there's a free version that provides that education and connection, but then there's also a membership due program, very affordable, starting at $99 a year, right? So it's not like we're saying spend hundreds of dollars. We just need some funds in order to provide more services to our small businesses. So we're really excited to launch that very soon. You know, we just have some technical things to build out, but we're almost there, and we're excited to announce that soon.
Great. And other things is, what are can you give a brief example of some of the things that you, the Rhode Island small business can help them? So like in our community, like one of the restaurant, they purchased a restaurant, and it's located in a place religious, and behind the religious entity, there's a school. So they can't have alcohol. They can't serve alcohol. They want to serve beer and wine, because that's how you create business traffic. Is there a way that through your coalition that help them advocate and create conversation with individual?
Yeah, that's a great example and a great question. And what that small business owner would do is they would reach out to us, explain that scenario, and then we would use our connections and contacts to see locally who can support them. And also, how can we advise them to adapt their business, to apply for certain licenses, and to point them in the right direction? Because small businesses too often feel like they're on an island and they're just unsure of what route to go to. And that's what we're here to help, is to, alleviate all these issues that they're having and help point them in the right direction and fight on their behalf, especially when it's a common issue amongst multiple small business owners or the individual case, like you mentioned.
Perfect. That's a perfect ideal, because those are things that people want, that real action oriented in process, and it go to the source. That is truly an amazing organization. Well, Chris, if you have any additional information, let us know. But this is recorded, so we're going to share with the community at large, and we hope to have you back soon.
Thank you. I am actually I have most appearances on this town hall forum starting from 2020. So I took a little hiatus for the baby, but I am back, and I'm excited to continue our work in elevating our small businesses. And congratulations to you again for all of you done. Our communities is so grateful to have you here.
Well, thank you. And thank you for all you done as well. I know you work really hard, and we miss you a great deal for being, you.
I got a little comment. The most appearances, but the most of all time is technically Ben Barber. Our
Thank you.
We got a shout out to Ben. Yes.
Thank you, Shanavi.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, Ben, I know you are awesome. I know we've seen each other once in a while.
Yes. I loved your commercial, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, I loved the commercial. Every time I saw the commercial with you, I was very excited about that.
I wish that my family could appreciate it. They said they see too much of me, and they're like, can we get a smaller screen TV next time? So that
bigger screen TV next time. All right.
Well,
Continue.
Thank you for being my MC partner, and for helping me walk through this. It's extraordinary what Director Weldon, Director Haywood, and Chris has been doing for our state. Despite all the pandemic issues, our state has always showed up, has rise and produced goods and services so good, and keeping our community healthy and well-being. And that is a true leaders coming from the top with the governor and the lieutenant governor.
Absolutely.
Right, Ben?
Absolutely. They've done a fantastic job, and it's been a wonderful getting a front row seat for that in these town halls and everything else. All right. I believe that there's a small business that you'd like to highlight today.
Yes, I would love to bring up Bailey at Bailey Thai Cuisine, located on Oaklawn Avenue in Cranston. She just recently opened about 6 months ago, and working really hard to making sure to preserve her culture, her heritage, and of course the deliciousness of her food. So, Bailey, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on over here. How are you?
Hi, Bailey. Thank you for joining us. I know you probably is juggling between joining us now and then running the house kitchen, right?
Correct. Yes, that's why I have to turn off the video call, because I do a lot of stuff too. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Can you share a little bit about your restaurant, and so that our listeners can go and enjoy your deliciousness of your dishes?
Yeah, I'm very welcome everybody over here. I've been working hard for the food, and a lot of things going on with Fanatic, but I got help for community, so I do a little bit better right now. So, but I still have need a lot of things going on for the food, for the service, everything,
Mhm.
I
Now,
don't.
what are some of the dishes that you're making that is like really the ethnic of Laotian food?
Oh, actually, I want to recommend the lap, chicken lap. You know,
Hmm.
chicken lap, beef lap, and I love my drunken noodle. Is my favorite too, and a lot of people come enjoy drunken noodle. They really enjoy it. You know, and the Thai curry is all good. Also, I don't want to say my food is good until you have to come try over here.
Right, you're just inviting people to your table right now, right? You because you're
Yeah, oh
making me
yeah.
salivating. You're making me salivating. I'm ready to go now.
Anytime, just come enjoy, get your delicious food over here.
And
Your
then you had
drunken
the
noodle, your sorry,
you made your tom yum soup. Everything is fresh.
everything's
Everything.
fresh over here, vegetable fresh. We make the same time the customer order over here, exactly, almost everything.
And then also what people forgot is our Southeast Asian dessert.
Oh, I have mango and sticky rice. It's very good. And I have taro custard. The dessert is very good. Also, just come and try.
Hmm. And then you also make those special drinks. What are some of the special drinks that you make that people loves?
Oh, I have Thai iced tea, Thai iced coffee, orange color, and served with the cream. It's very yummy.
Mm, I know. I'm ready to leave the show and just go to your restaurant right now.
Come through over here. Welcome, everybody. And thank you for everything, your support.
Well, thank you, Bailey, and thank you for being a small business owner and trying to stay above the water during this difficult time. And we try to give our viewer a sense of your business, and your business is not just serving food and customer are purchasing it and buying the food, but also you give back and donate to your community, whether to the temple, whether to the Center for Southeast Asian, or simply to individual families that need help. And I know that you're always there for people. So I thank you for
Thank you very much,
coming to this
too.
country, to this state, and open this business despite doing this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I invite all viewers to come with me to go to Bailey Restaurant and enjoy the delicious food and amazing dessert that she have over there. I went a couple of times there, and I can tell you it's an amazing. She took a restaurant that was run by another owner for many, many years, and took it apart, cleaned it all up, and rebuilt. The whole kitchen in the back is new. And the whole entire space of the restaurant is new so that she could preserve the heritage, the culture, and the ethnic uniqueness of the food that she served to the community. So I welcome everybody there. The other one that I also want to highlight is the Bayou Market, which I said earlier. Again, another business that is here for our community. They're selling goods from vegetables to meat to fish to also cooking product that are culturally relevant to the community in the usability of the community. And they have been here. And like I said, they run by the sister and a brother who also gave back to the community. They are one of our donors, our major donors, and also just young people that just want to uplift the community. So we want to highlight those two businesses because we want to demonstrate not only that you're a business owner, but you are a philanthropist and servant to the community. And we have to bring people along with us. And when we do bring people along with us, people, all of us, is going to be strong. And I witnessed that during my time from youngsters to now in my 50, where all my children is our children is all grown. And we want to make sure that our community in Rhode Island and everywhere else have the opportunity just like everyone else. So thank you. Ben, do we have any, do we accept any call or anything like that?
Nope, that's it. That's the whole thing. You landed the plane.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to Ben. Ben, thank you so much for being an amazing, I know you're behind the scene, but without you, we couldn't make this happen. But thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another Rhode Island Small Business Town Hall with Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. And in the in-between weeks, you can head over to the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition to watch the Rhode Island Small Business Live Forum. Thank you so much. You were amazing. And
thank you.
We will talk to you guys next time.
Okay. Enjoy.